It's a hugely dynamic aircraft, comes out of Curtis Pitts' design stable back in the 1940s, and one of the most exciting and innovative aircraft it is as well. Still at the top of its game after so many decades of air display performances. Now, Richard Goodwin swapped airplanes last night, had a bit of an issue with his new blue J-Pit aircraft, so he's brought back G-EWIZ, something that most of you are familiar with. And here now starting his trademark signature entry profile, a side slip knife edge pass with the smoke on. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Richard Goodwin in the Muscle biplane. Now, if you haven't seen him at all this weekend, you're about to see a whirlwind in aerobatic development right at the top end, fully advanced aerobatics. This aircraft capable of doing just about everything there is to be done in an aircraft, and it does it very, very well indeed. An exhausting performance there. Richard rarely going anywhere in a straight line for longer than about 10 seconds. He's got aero superbatics and all this dynamic activity absolutely in his DNA. His father was a well-known hunter display pilot in the Royal Air Force. Richard himself spent years flying operations with the Tornado GR4, and he is now in his muscle biplane. So Curtis Pitts, as you're aware, synonymous with the massive success of this particular aircraft, made famous in many ways by the fact that he used to put a skunk painting on many of his aircraft, and became known as the Stinker, and brought to aerobatic performance standards by a lady in this respect, a lady called Betty Skelton, who modelled her aerobatic displays on one she referred to as the Little Stinker, and you can still see that aircraft upside down in the Smithsonian Aviation Museum just outside Dallas Airport if you happen to be across in Washington anytime. G-EWIZ, however, in many ways a very, very different aircraft from those first flying in the 1940s. Most aircraft you see were production-built aircraft, but this one, a home-built factory kit, one of only 30 aircraft of its type built. Designed in the 1960s for competition and airshow aerobatics, powered by a 6-cylinder, 8.5-litre engine producing 300 horsepower. That's pretty phenomenal for a small aircraft of this caliber. Got a flying weight of just 750 kilograms, a top speed of over 200 miles an hour, is capable of pulling plus 6G and minus 5. Now, we talk about G a lot in air displays. You're all weighing about 1G as you stroll along the seafront here, but imagine somebody putting a big brick on the top of you, and that brick gets heavier and heavier and heavier, so it eventually weighs 5 times your current body weight. That's a lot of power, a lot of pressure. You have to remain strong, fit, and prepared for this sort of flying. It's absolutely high performance at the top end. The airplane itself gets its strength from the box-like structure of the wings, with the top and bottom wings connected by diagonal steel wires to give it great rigidity. Richard himself, a very passionate and intense, consummate engineer as well as performer. He's been flying, building and flying biplanes for many, many years, and this one specifically modified for aerial entertainment at air displays. Modifications include a new titanium landing gear, new shaped cowling and induction system, a high-performance fuel injection, exhaust and smoke systems as well. Richard does all the work on the aircraft and the modification program himself, giving it enhanced aerobatic capability with many unique maneuvers. You're going to see during the course of this display double hammerhead, or pinwheel as he calls it, the tower of power, the torque rolls and backwards flight, and high alpha knife edge passes. And here you see him literally hanging on the what's left of the power in the propeller, virtually very little forward airspeed, and now just knocking the stick forward there to build up a bit more energy, get that airspeed back, and using his height, just letting the engine cool down a little bit now while he repositions. All these maneuvers only possible really with a highly modified form of this iconic biplane. Putting through a couple of controlled spins there. Again, once again, not necessary for the faint-hearted. Takes years of practice and experience and intense training sessions to perform at this standard. Very much the fitness requirements of modern Formula One drivers as well, you know, particularly around the neck muscles as well, so you can move your head around the cockpit whilst doing these. And of course the stick going all over the place at the moment as he wangs it from one side to another, often pushing and pulling and exerting huge strains on his own body. Some of you here Thursday, Friday will have seen his blue aircraft, the J-Pit. That is the one that he's currently developing to put a pair of very small turbine engines on the front end. We haven't actually seen it operating like that in public, but oh, look, going through a few snap rolls and tumbles there, now inverted, and again, loving every second of it. Really strenuous exercise, this remaining inverted for this amount of time, as he pushes away now. Well, the blood really doing its best to all pool in his head, and you get a little thing often called red outs there. Pushing hard, he'll turn it round in a minute, converts that negative into positive G, altogether a lot more comfortable position to be in. Now a great example of a sideways slip there, putting in a roll in between and then gently just repositioning at the top of that. Now at this stage he's just taking a short break, checking the T's and P's as we say in the business, the temperatures and pressures, checking there nothing else in the cockpit to influence, and also a short break for himself and his body as well. Once he's happy that the aircraft's settled down, that everything is, all the dials are where they should be, smoke is on, he's now going to turn it into a dive. It won't be any old dive, he'll put in about half a dozen rolls on his way down as well, using, however, all that height into speed, into energy, to give him the momentum to pull up into a series of high-performance dynamic maneuvers. Stand by, coming up very shortly. Here it is, you can see him winding on the power now, getting that speed, pulling up very shortly, be going up to about 6 or 7 G as he pulls tightly now, and on the way up, flicking it, rolling it, and up the top he'll just hover on what's left. A really, really uncomfortable in the washing machine on high spin, and here he is now just using that residual power that's left, going gyroscopic as the aircraft is turning on a reciprocal basis to that of the propeller. Absolutely outstanding stuff indeed. Utterly exhausting process in many respects, and that's why a little short break now and again just eases the pressure a bit, but don't worry, he does this about twice a day most weeks when he's not doing any other flying. Hard to imagine what size of aircraft he's got on that. 8.5 litres, 300 horsepower, and it's a titchy little thing. When you get up and close and personal to a pit, it really is a very, very small aircraft. Once again, taking it as high as he can without putting on any more power, nothing much left, and just as he runs out, just breaks it over the top of his head. Here, and you slide, tumble, flicking all the way up. Another one of those great Lomchevak examples. That's, of course, Czechoslovakian for headache. But no hangovers here. This is comes in his stride to Richard Goodwin, a really superb performer in every respect. We're all looking forward to seeing the effect of adding those jet engines to this. You can imagine what an amazing spectacle that is going to be when we do see it. Coming back down now, and I think his trademark signature departure as well. You know what to do, boys and girls. As he's coming along now, he's looking out of the cockpit, gets that wave going in from Beachy Head all the way down to the pier. Richard Goodwin in the muscle biplane. And here, almost impossible flying this, isn't it? Absolutely extraordinary, using what's left over of any residual power in that engine and propeller, defying gravity by putting it in a hover. Richard's had a number of sponsors over the years, now firmly ensconced with the Sabio Group, involved with digital CX transformations work and inspiring the next generation of STEM aviators and engineers.